I've made these bacon-wrapped onion rings a half dozen times by placing them in cast iron and then in a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. This time I cooked them in a baking dish, and while it does extend the cook time, the results are just as delicious. Start off by preheating your oven to 350 degrees and then slicing your onions into half-inch to 3/4-inch rings like so. Be careful slicing because there's nothing more dangerous than a dull knife and a rolling onion, because you'll put too much weight on the knife and then it will slip and gash the hand you're using to hold the onion. I typically get 3 usable sections in every onion. Make sure you pick onions that aren't too short or too skinny. This one here is closer to 1 inch, but it will work. Next, you want to separate the rings, with each ring you will wrap being comprised of 2 onion rings. If you do single rings, it's very easy to break them, although some of the smaller rings are strong enough to just be singles. Carefully pop the centers out. They will separate more easily in one direction or the other. You just have to figure which side to push on. Try the other side if the first side is too difficult. Just don't break your rings. This one here is the perfect size. The keys to wrapping this is number 1, choosing the right bacon. You want bacon that isn't too thick or so thin that it wants to come apart when you are wrapping. This is Dietz & Watson center cut bacon. I've had great success using this in the past, but this batch was a bit frazzled, but it still worked. And number 2, keep your bacon as cold as possible for as long as you can. Warm bacon just doesn't like to cooperate. It will take 2 pieces for the larger rings, and the smallest rings might need just 1. Don't be afraid to overlap a little. The bacon will cook just fine, and you won't get bare spots where the onion shows if you overlap. My wrapping job wasn't the fastest or the greatest when I first started doing these, but my rings keep getting better every time I make them. Just keep at it. After you've wrapped the rings, place them atop parchment paper in a baking pan lined with foil. This will make cleanup simple. Now into the oven. It will take a good 40 to 45 minutes before they are ready to flip. You know the Maillard effect is taking place when you start to see the dark brown and black streaks in the pan. It's the sugar used to cure the bacon that is caramelizing. Don't worry about it though, because the black bits won't taste burnt, and if you're aiming for aesthetics, you can carefully pick the black streaks off with a pair of tongs or a fork, or even your fingers if they are made of asbestos. I'm flipping these at about the 50-minute mark. All ovens are different, so do what you need to do when you need to do it. "10 minutes later, I removed all but the middle 3. Those 3 went another 10 minutes. You'll be blown away by how wonderfully the sweetness of the onion and the saltiness of the bacon work together. Try them. I dare you.